My idea for doing business was always like profit making banana. Mahindra still calls their vehicle back. Hyundai still does it. If your judgment goes wrong, are you able to own it?
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Witty Peanuts podcast. This is the second part of my conversation with Himanshu Agrawal, who is a designer turned product manager. तो अगर आपने पार्ट 1 नहीं देखा है तो लिंक डिस्क्रिप्शन में मिल जाएगा या फिर यहाँ कोने में इस कार्ड पे क्लिक कर लो। अगर आपने ऑलरेडी देख लिया है तो भाई जल्दी से स्किप करो, गेट इनटू द कन्वर्सेशन फास्टर। Let's talk a little bit more about you. So, as I know, you were like a founder of 2 startups earlier, and जैसा मैंने intro में भी बताया है. So let's talk about that journey a little bit. I also want to like get into the depths of the designer life of Himanshu. How was that life, and then how did it change as a product manager? Your companies a little bit. सब सारी चीजें cover कर लो बहुत quickly, but थोड़ा elaborative.
So the story uh, this starts when I left my job. I was in Calcutta and I came back to Jaipur. Started working with my friend. तो हम लोग जो स्टार्टअप बना रहे थे shopsdekho.com. After visiting 400 500 shops, we figured that few challenges exist with this business model. Along with that, we don't understand the tech industry and everything around the funding, nothing at all. So one of the few challenges is that people have the inventory and they don't want it to display their inventory online because they are selling it uh, in the offline world, and as soon as they put it online somebody will copy them, so they have a unique designs, right? So if my unique design is there of my sari or suit or something, I don't want to put it up online. That is the first challenge. Now how can you build a digital product like by not having the inventory over there? Second is that they are selling the same product to the different customers at different prices. तेरे को 10,000 की, मेरे को 20,000 की. The thing is, now obviously I do not have the understanding how to solve this problem over there. Along with this, they also have the same problem with this inventory ki unke paas limited ही piece hai. So if they have two pieces of particular inventory or one piece or even five, they don't want to spend on any photography. And if we do it our side, our business model will not work. And I did not have the mindset of building a loss making company and then get the profit out of it later after acquiring the users and anything. I was just thinking from the start that we will onboard the users, we will make their inventory, we will get the thing, we will also charge for the delivery, everything. कितना वर्क करता है मुझे नहीं पता, बट हमें ये मालूम था हमारा कोर यूएसपी डिस्काउंट्स ये सब चीज़ें नहीं है. हमारा कोर यूएसपी ये है, यू कैन फाइंड व्हाट इज अवेलेबल इन योर शॉप नियर बाय सिटिंग एट योर होम, राइट? So when my core positioning was sorted, but still didn't fly, I have to figure out what to do next. But in this journey, what happened in building this product, I learned about design because there was a designer who joined our company. I used to have different opinions on the design, so I used to talk to him, and he probably was not able to think like I was thinking. So I started picking few skills from them and start designing my app or my website. Uh, so I was not good. Very obviously, I was not very good. I was like very decent. Like even poor, you can say. But one thing happened is after we decided to shut this business, key it's not working out for us. I still wanted to make money, and I because I have no idea. I left my job already. I do not have any idea what I want to do next. So, uh, because at the core, my friend was a tech guy. He was building websites for various clients. We got the same client who wanted the logo, and now because we uh, our designer friend was actually went to a different job, and they were no, he was not available. I got the task to do it, that design this logo, and I thought like why not? Let's take an attempt. So I designed the logo. I got paid 1,500 rupees for the very first time. अब मैंने सोच लिया था लाइफ सेट है, आराम से 1,500 रुपए एक लोगों का मिल रहा है, महीने के 10 बनाएंगे, 15,000 रुपए, आधी तनख्वाह तो मिल गई जितनी सैलरी में मिलती थी, और घर पे बैठे चिल कर रहे हैं तो कोई लोड ही नहीं है लाइफ में. ये तो हो गया बढ़िया शुरू. फिर मैं अब एक दूसरा लोगो नहीं आया, बहुत दिन हो गए, तो दूसरा आया, फिर तीसरा आया, ऐसे आते गए लोगो वगैरह वगैरह. आई स्टार्टेड चेंजिंग माई प्राइस ऑल्सो, 2500, 3000, 10,000 and whatnot. And then eventually I started getting the brochures, posters, and everything. So I got a lot of understanding on the design side of it. And that's where, when my design understanding itself grew, I started this t-shirt company. कि अब हम खुद के डिजाइन बनाएंगे, कंपनीज को टी शर्ट देंगे. एंड इसका एक बहुत डिफरेंट कॉन्टेक्स्ट था, एनालिटिक्स वगैरह वगैरह. बट वी वर थिंकिंग जस्ट after sub हमारा viable business model is कि provide t-shirts with their whatever they want as a designs, their designs, we will do the design services along with the t-shirt work for them, so getting the merchandising done for them. So we started doing that. It's a profitable business from day one. I registered my company from first money we have received in the bank account after doing a first business. तो हमने कुछ 100 टी शर्ट बनाई, उसमें 8,000 रुपए का प्रॉफिट आया, उससे हमने अपनी कंपनी रजिस्टर करी. तो आई लिटरली, माई आइडिया फॉर डूइंग बिजनेस वॉज ऑलवेज लाइक प्रॉफिट मेकिंग बनाना है. एंड देन वी गॉट लॉट ऑफ क्लाइंट्स लाइक उबर, योर स्टोरी, and lot of marathons, IIT, IIMs, IIT Kharagpur. I sponsored also their fest. This, while doing this, I figured that I can do retail as well. So we built our own designs. We went to Kala Ghoda festival, lot of places where we put up our stalls and started selling, Amazon, Flipkart, everywhere. And we built a good retail business as well along with that. बट जो कहते हैं ना, एम्बिशन एंड जो क्यूरोसिटी होती है कि यार दिस इज नॉट इनफ, आई वांट टू डू समथिंग फार बिगर, दिस इज अ मी टू बिजनेस. आई एम अगेन बिल्डिंग अ टी शर्ट, देयर लॉट ऑफ अदर प्लेयर्स लाइक बेवकूफ. उस टाइम ये सब समझ नहीं थी कि देर आर द मोर प्लेयर इन द मार्केट, एक्चुअली इट्स बेटर. यूर you will have a good business model, that's why they are there. You are also doing the right thing, you can actually build a good business over here. So I did not have that understanding. I thought, let's do something else. And I met few folks like Raghav and Ravi further, who were thinking about the collage, and they have put up their first product into the. Uh, they had very limited number of users, around 10, 20, 30 users, I think. And they just launched itself, but the product need a lot of work. So I started working with them, and I started giving them ideas on marketing, design, product, and everything else. I didn't know back then who I was, what my skills are. Only design understanding I had. So design, marketing, product. I started giving I feedback on everything, and eventually they had a good time talking to me. I had a good time talking to them. We figured that we had a match. So I joined them as a third co-founder and looking after product and design. And I built the tech platform of social network of writers and design, write basically writers and publications, social network of writers and publications, so that writers can get published into newspapers and magazines, and magazines can get the fresh new content for a very smaller amount of cost, uh, and can reach to their subscribers or their audience. They can even build their audience via us. So we did a lot of innovation. We You can create your own publication over here. We built the SaaS tool to manage the content at the publications end. Uh, we built author promotion, ghostwriting services. We did couple of things with our business model. We raised 2 rounds of funds. We expanded to 4 countries. We had more than lakh writers on the platform. We had 1,000 publications. We did a good business over there. The only challenge is, मतलब we built a good product. It's not a great business actually because हम पैसे नहीं बना पाए बहुत ज़्यादा. I think our monetization strategy with the publications didn't work out the way we wanted or we expected. We were ahead of the market. They were not ready for the SaaS. Um, so this didn't work out for us. We eventually figured this is not working, and we were not able to raise more funds to expand or put into marketing. So we had to shut down. And then, uh, literally, my job career got started. I joined as a Xyla head of design, then eventually moved to product, and then I built the healthcare product. So till the collage, I grew my design and product skills to a level, but more design, less product. At Xyla, it's more product, more design, combined along with the leadership abilities, management abilities, hiring, growing teams, everything. And then even that grew it further along on the product management specifically and working in a larger set of products with the millions of users in the Ola context and now Acco. So that's how I grew overall. At Ola, I was leading vehicle commerce to build the entire buying experience for the end customer as well as fulfillment experience, how that will get delivered to them in a very short span of time. Because that's the backbone. And at Acco, now I'm building life insurance, uh, some parts of health insurance. Uh, that's how I'm excited about.
So yeah, you have had a very interesting journey, and I think very unusual one as well. मतलब coming from and being an entrepreneur, then a designer, then a product manager. ऐसा usually industry में देखने को नहीं मिलता है ज़्यादातर लोगों के साथ में. So exceptional as well, I think, with that respect. But I also want to know a little bit more about your stint at Ola. I mean, since you have worked very closely with that team, so I have this question about Iterco. So for anyone who doesn't know what Iterco is, Iterco was the company that Ola acquired. It was a European company that was apparently known as the Tesla of scooters as well. And उस company को ओला ने acquire किया, and the S1 and S1 Pro scooters that they launched are essentially those products which have apparently been remodified and redesigned for the Indian adaptation, and then हमारे यहाँ पे launch हुए थे. So there are a lot of rumors. So first, of course, there were a lot of problems with the scooter that were there, राइट, उसका कहीं पे बैटरी में कोई इश्यू आ रहा था, कहीं पे स्कूटर वाज लाइक द आई मीन स्कूटर चार्ज नहीं हो रहा है, कहीं पे बैटरी शायद ऐसे भी कुछ केसेस आए थे, ब्लास्ट भी हो रही है, एंड कहीं पे ये भी था कि आगे का जो प्रोंग है, जो फोक है, वो टूट जाता है फॉर दैट होल्ड्स द फ्रंट व्हील एंड द हैंडल टुगेदर. तो ये कुछ इश्यूज आए उस स्कूटर के साथ में, राइट. एंड इसके बाद में बहुत बैड माउथिंग, बैड पब्लिसिटी भी हुई उस स्कूटर की. सो वाज इट रियली द केस कि उसको इंडियन कंडीशंस के लिए डिजाइन नहीं किया गया था? व्हाट आर योर थॉट्स ऑन इट?
So I believe that like the Tesla for the world is not Tesla for the India. Similarly, like Itergo was not primarily for India, and team has made significant changes. Uh, I mm, don't think I can talk about those changes over here though, but definitely team has accounted for the all the Indian conditions, and the vehicle has almost been redesigned for the Indian context. Okay, I'll talk about that what we have done differently at Ola, right? Generally, automotive companies takes a decade to build and to build great products with the everything to be perfect. But there is nothing perfect, right? Even Mahindra still calls their vehicle back. Hyundai still does it, and many more companies have their issues with their products. So when we have seen that case scenarios, uh, we know for sure uh, that if we are going to launch our product in a very short timeline within a year, what Ola has done that. I think it's nearly impossible to achieve the same level of success with any product, right? So uh, when I am thinking about it, I think the generally how people adapted or people responded to this, they were amazed by this fact that how they have launched a vehicle in this. And if you look at the overall audience, like they have shipped more than 150,000 scooters till date. And we have heard like one or two or three or four cases, right? And because it's like the darling of the media right now, everyone, EV market is growing, Ola is growing rapidly. What other companies have achieved in a decade, they have done it in a year. And because of the brilliant people and the brilliant vision the company have, right? So in this context, some things will go wrong. Some things will go wrong. Obviously, I completely feel that it should not be at the cost of any human being's life, and that's what company also feels, and they also cater to that. But as we say, new product generally have some or other issue even after rigorous testing, and they have done rigorous testing. They have literally driven lakhs of kilometers before releasing it in the market. So uh, I feel that the product is great. A lot of people are getting benefit of it with this product. If you talk to their experiences, what they have heard from the company in terms of range, in terms of experience, they see We have under promised, over delivered on those things. Somewhere, something, you take it, if you take your product to an extreme condition, okay, like extreme heat, or probably driving it very roughly, some things are go haywire. Obviously, they will go here and there. And I would suggest like people to drive more safely, more cautiously. Any vehicle, it's not only Ola vehicle, to keep their vehicle also protected, so their life at the primary uh, thing, to protect that, to keep themselves safe, right? So I think it's not the products which is of the, otherwise it would have been a problem for 50% of users, 40% of users. If it's like 0.01% of users, I think it's the it's not the product which is at fault. Even if there is a minor or small error, I think it's generally a cycle uh, of the new launches and iterations over the years, as well as how people are using the product. So I would definitely suggest people to be drive more safely and take care of themselves.
उसके साथ में एक और चीज़ होती है कि आप मिनिमम स्टैंडर्ड्स मीट कर रहे हो या नहीं। तो अब वो इंडिया के अंदर उन स्टैंडर्ड्स का ऑफ कोर्स एक अलग एक डिबेट चलता रहता है कि भाई इंडियन स्टैंडर्ड्स ही उतने ज़्यादा नहीं है जस्ट बिकॉज़ आप चाहते हो कि मारुति सुजुकी की गाड़ियाँ बिकती रहें। तो आपने उन स्टैंडर्ड्स को बहुत लो रखा हुआ है। बट हाँ, मतलब आई वुड से वो कहीं न कहीं गवर्नमेंट को भी करना चाहिए कि यू शुड सेट अ हायर स्टैंडर्ड। अगर आप कार्स की बात करते हो तो देयर इज़ अ ग्लोबल एनकैप रेटिंग। तो वो ग्लोबल एनकैप टाइप की चीज़ आपके टू व्हीलर्स के अंदर भी होनी चाहिए।
Yep, yep.
सो फ्रॉम हेल्थ टेक टू ई-कॉमर्स ऑफ इलेक्ट्रिक व्हीकल्स टू इंश्योर टेक, हाउ डज़ दैट रोल चेंज फॉर अ प्रोडक्ट मैनेजर?
Okay, so I was doing e-commerce for vehicles. I was doing subscription management at Zyla along with the various other things. I was doing the e-commerce of life insurance over here. It's like commerce only, right? Everywhere you're selling something digitally. So more or less at the functional level, it's not changing much. Along, it might change on the point of dealing with a different set of stakeholders. Maybe I was not dealing with compliance a lot in Ola Electric, but in the it's a regulated industry insurance, so the compliance and regulations and actuary and those things are new for me, and I think that is very interesting area to uh, like get into. So that changed a bit, but my stakeholders changed. My functional role didn't change much. Uh, Again, thinking about the customer, because at the core is still the same. You have to think for the customer. You have to figure out what their problems are, and you have to solve it. So I'm still solving customer problems, just a different industry, few different stakeholders. Nothing else changes.
So, do you think there is a need to be a domain expert if you are at a certain level in your career? For example, there is a lot of chatter these days around if you are, let's say, in middle management, senior manager position हो गया या senior product manager position है, senior designer position है, उसके बाद में you should pick a domain and then get into that और उसको और deeper होते रहो so that eventually you become a CXO for that particular domain. So, do you think that is true, or do you think that is actually kind of misleading?
Generally, radical change comes from a people who are outside the industry because they challenge the status quo. They think from their first principles and
Hmm,
they see why. They ask a lot of why, right? Which does not happen
hmm,
if you are a domain expert and if you are staying in the industry for a very long time. You should learn about the
yeah.
industry to make a significant changes and decisions. But the moment your expertise is blocking you to think in a very limited way, I think that becomes a challenge. That is the reason ACO was very much open. They do not want people from traditional insurance background only. They also want people from the
Hmm,
non-traditional insurance background so that they can think from the first principles. So I think it's a healthy mix of domain experts versus functional experts who come together to build something innovative, works for the company.
hmm,
For the individual, it depends upon your personal choice, right? For me, I was not a domain expert but a functional expert. And I would like to stay
hmm,
that way because the world is changing very rapidly, right? Uh, which
yeah.
industry, I don't know. But I'm 100% sure wherever I'll be still thinking from the first principles, breaking down every single point to ask the why and getting to the bottommost issue to resolve that, to solve that problem, and then look at how can we take the industry ahead from this point to the next point, right? Probably. So that's how it's like
Hmm.
for the company, it's a combination which will work. For the individual, it's the personal choice how they want to put it. For me, I would like to keep myself domain agnostic, uh, so that I'll be functional expert. I would love to be a person who can take up any problem and solve it.
That problem statement is very true. Eventually, you just need to learn how to solve problems, and if you do that, you can fit into any industry. तो वो domain specific चीजें is just like programming. मतलब अगर आप कोड कर रहे हो, अगर आपको लॉजिक लिखना आता है, तो syntax doesn't matter. तो your functional experience or your functional expertise is essentially your
Yeah.
algorithms, and syntax is your domain. तो अगर मैं इसके लिए कर सकता हूँ, तो थोड़ी सी लर्निंग के साथ मैं दूसरे डोमेन के लिए भी कर सकूंगा. एंड ऑफ कोर्स डोमेन एक्सपर्ट्स आर डेफिनेटली नीडेड, और वैसे लोग आपको हर जगह मिल भी जाएंगे,
So
एज
I
यू आर
think
सेइंग.
commerce,
इंडीड.
e-commerce didn't exist
या.
like 20, 30 years back, right? uh, like
हम्म.
someday internet was born and then e-commerce came and then few people learned about it and then they become the domain expert,
या.
right? And but the people who are coming in the e-commerce for the very first time, they are thinking it from a new angle, and that's where the industry is
या.
changing. So always somebody has to come from a new angle, and then only things will grow to a point. Otherwise, because you know too much of it, right? You generally say, "Oh, this is not possible. This is not how it works."
How do design and product work together? Like, how do you like to work with a designer?
I generally pass on the problem statement to who is the user, what we want to achieve for this user, and once we achieve this, uh, how the work, how basically overall system will look like. So suppose if uh,
Hmm.
I tell them that we wanted to create a policy page, okay. The idea is that our user don't understand the policy terms and conditions very clearly. We wanted to write them or explain them in such a way. So we figured the model together, but now we want to represent in design in such a way so that they will be able to quickly grasp it. What will happen? Because once they will be able to quickly grasp it, they will be able to make decision quickly, and they will be able to buy the insurance plan. Like more quickly, like obviously they will, when the decision making is faster or easier, they will definitely will stick
Yeah.
with you, they will buy because they feel that you are able to communicate the point to them. So it's like passing
Right.
the problem statement to them, and then I'm like I generally do not be the hand of a designer that I'm going to hold your hand and I'm going to design it along with you. It's like I told you, uh, and you have any questions, let's discuss and brainstorm together. And then because you are the
Hmm.
design expert, you tell me how it should be done, and I have a vision that this problem should be solved in this way. But I'm not biased to any particular design thing which is coming to my mind. I'm open to hearing. And being a designer myself, I know I'm not that person who says, oh, maza nahi aa raha isme to, kind of feedback. I tell them that what is not working for me and why it is not working for me, probably, till the point wherever I
Hmm.
can explain it. And then we brainstorm together to come up with the final thing and launch it.
Whenever someone says, as
Yeah,
you
yeah,
quoted, यार मजा नहीं आया, so how to like work on that feedback? मतलब ये कोई feedback तो ideally मेरे हिसाब से नहीं होता है. If you have some, I think what you can actually do for this is, अगर कोई ऐसा कहता है, तो you try to understand their problem, कि भाई हाँ ठीक है, मजा नहीं आया, मुझे भी नहीं आया. You tell me, like, what is the exact thing that you want. एंड ऑफ कोर्स वो एग्जैक्ट थिंग ना लोगों को पता ही नहीं होती है ज्यादातर टाइम. इफ एनीवन इज कमिंग टू यू एंड सेइंग मजा नहीं आया, तो उसको खुद को नहीं मालूम कि उसको
you have to
क्या चाहिए.
extract it.
बट एज अ डिजाइनर, एज अ प्रॉब्लम सॉल्वर, you have to extract it out of them, right? And you have to maybe ask some questions that can help you understand their mindset better and then deliver it.
Correct, 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 correct.
All righty. Okay. So लेट्स टॉक अबाउट टेक्नोलॉजी। हमने एआई वाली चीज कवर करी कि थोड़ा सा करा कि भाई एआई किसकी नौकरी खा सकता है, बट लाइक आई वुड लव टू नो योर थॉट्स, लाइक मोर थॉट्स अबाउट इट कि एआई और क्या कर सकता है, क्या नहीं कर सकता है।
Um, I don't know right now. I think it's too early to say what it's like. It seems like it can do anything at this point of time. And that's why I was reading about this like a few weeks back in Harvard ki some case study or some research publication that because automation and robots are keep getting better at what they do, you also have to keep getting better at what you do. Like, and what we do as humans, we are the humanness, the more empathy, and that core emotional intelligence we have to enhance that at the core, and that's what keeps us more human, and that's what keeps us relevant. If we keep doing something which is more which can be turned into automation any day, we are definitely going to lose that. But something which is taking thousands of factors and taking, and we don't understand, right, how we take those emotional decisions sometimes. We don't even know. I think it's a time to understand that why we are like that, and uh, how generally we should approach uh, this to become better at what we do, so that even if the AI is getting stronger and taking all the work, which anything can be automated, we still feel more safer and we still feel more in control and in power. The machines are not taking over. But yeah, the world is scary. Thinking from Black Mirror to all the cars becoming robots and fighting, and like we have seen Transformers and whatnot. So it's crazy, right? Like I know what is evident enough itself in front of us. Like the self-driving is in front of us, Gen AI is in front of us, automations and robots are in front of us. So yes, it is scary. We have to be good at really what we do as humans.
This is the now of tech. Basically, AI is here already. What is the future of tech?
I'm pretty much excited about, like I have came across these content around of Black Mirror and Upload as a series and everything, where somebody is creating a parallel world where the conscious can live in. You can interact with the
Hmm.
people who are already dead, uh, or you can become young again. Your age is getting reversed. You can replay the memories and all those things. So I think it's like interesting stuff. How much is possible? Not sure. Definitely, definitely very interesting, because as obviously if the machines are getting better, there has to be a way to make humans.
Better.
Definitely, yes.
Interesting. So, any particular company you know about who's working on this, that one can
No,
follow?
I have not. I think there are few folks like Brian or some guy. He has like literally uh, when you see his, I think 30-year-old pick versus today's thing, you feel that he has actually reversed his age. Uh, uh, so there are a lot of people are doing it at a personal level, and time and again we have seen that people who are taking their care of their food, their uh, health and wellness in every way possible, they're staying young. And I'm not talking about those external injections though, but I'm talking about in a genuine way. uh, Now what is the technology in pharma overall can do in a much more positive way, which will not harm you but actually enhance your lifespan, and uh, like keep you capabilities as well, your thinking abilities, your power, everything. So yeah, excited about that. I'm not sure which one to.
You've given me a good video idea. Thank you, Himanshu. Okay, so tell me, what has been the weirdest question that has been asked to you in an interview?
I don't think so. It's a question which has been asked, but I think somebody told me, भाई मैं 2 महीने में कंपनी छोड़ने वाला हूँ, तुझे क्यों ज्वाइन करनी है? तो तो He started like which is very weird, right? In self, ki generally people are the ambassadors. These people are ambassadors of the organization. They are saying the negative thing. Uh, but yeah, that happened with me.
Okay, interesting. Okay, and when you interview anyone, be it like when you were a head of design or right now as a product manager, when you interview someone, what do you look for in a candidate?
I think as I have grown over the last 9 years, I look at the thought process, as we generally say, but what the thought process means. Uh, how can you, what is your thinking ability? I'm trying to understand how you think. Okay. So, are you taking the right decisions? Have you considered enough factors to take a decision? How confident are you on judgment? If your judgment goes wrong, are you able to own it? Uh, and if you own it, how do you react it? Will you be able to handle the pressure in that situation where things get basically shit hits the fan? So I'm generally try to understand that uh, because the work in itself is so much changing कि इंडस्ट्री नई है, काम नया होगा, तो अगर आपके बेसिक्स क्लियर है, you will be able to follow the process in general to reach to the conclusion. Like obviously, if you have to build the product, if you want to build the product, you have to go to the user to understand. So, are you talking to user? Are you interested in understanding user? How are you figuring out what are your users needs and problems, and then prioritizing it, then figuring it out कि मुझे क्या solution बनाना चाहिए उसको solve करने के लिए, which is easiest for my engineers to build it. What are my resources, my capabilities, and not being just living in a hypothetical world where everything is hunky dory. So if you are able to take that judgment call with respect to, if I give you a problem statement from Netflix perspective versus a new startup perspective, your options will change. And I ask such questions so that I'll be able to understand that if this person is will be able to take those decisions or not. So I think at the end of the day, we have to take decisions as the owner of certain things. And if this person is able to take decisions with the conscious, which is a conscious call, not random decisions, I think I'm good with that. So I can generally look for the thinking.
Okay, तो हमने हिमांशु के करियर की बात कर ली. What we haven't talked about is his social media life. You are some sort of an influencer on LinkedIn already. How did you like gain such following? How do you get time to create content? uh, वो वाली जर्नी भी बताओ थोड़ी सी.
Everyone wants to find their own voice. Okay. Everybody wants to have a voice. And I was feeling that nobody was hearing me because I was coming from a startup background. I did not have a stand in the corporate world. Uh, so I feel I knew something interesting, which a lot of people can get benefit of. I learned something I was very excited about, so I want to share it with the world. But generally, it's very challenging, right? So I looked at LinkedIn. I see a lot of people are doing it. I also wanted to, but I was hesitated that कोई मुझे इंग्लिश के लिए जज करने वाला है, मेरी कोई मेरी ग्रामर के लिए जज करने वाला है, कोई कुछ और बोलेगा. Maybe somebody will make a fun of me. So what I did is I started with uh, sharing quotes, something which what I have read, I loved it. I would just copy and pasting it. Copying, pasting. It's straightforward, right? You can't blame me for anything which I have not even said. I just reposted it. So that gave me an existence on the platform. The moment I did that 3, 4 times, some people liked that statement because they might have also related with that. I felt that okay, now few people got to know that I already do it. Let me share my personal stories, my personal learnings, and I started doing it in a very small sentences. And I double check my grammar, or I asked my wife to check my grammar mistake. She was like, she was the one perfect one to do it. So, uh, and even if I post it without talking to her, she comes to me. हिमांशु आपने पोस्ट कर दिया इसमें ये मिस्टेक है दोबारा करो इसको एडिट करो फिर रीपोस्ट करो so she was my biggest cheerleader uh, and then she is my biggest cheerleader. तो उसके बाद पोस्ट करते रहे and I think I got comfortable. I started posting more stories, more personal anecdotal stories, And I started feeling that people have certain set of questions, and I need to have a niche. I can't talk about every topic. I niche down startups, product, growth, leadership, and everything around that, primarily around product and everything. So I started talking to more. I even connected primarily those folks which can help from me on my the social media platform. So people had questions. I try to answer all of their questions. I get those questions offline environment also. I try to answer those questions so that in a one shot, multiple people can get benefit out of it. Started program like one person becoming better, because I literally feel that you don't learn uh, in a month and then you know that learning for the rest of your life. It doesn't happen like that. You learn something today, and then you learn a better version of that thing tomorrow, and then even a better version of that thing day after tomorrow, and that's how you grow. So you learn something smaller every day, and that gets compounded and makes you a smarter person. So following that philosophy, I learned that way. I started teaching that way. So I called my program on LinkedIn like 1% better PM every day, and that's how I help people to write that. That gave me more voice. So I started my podcast. I started doing reels, creating short videos, and it gave me more opportunities. Increasing my surface area, I got more opportunity to record offline shows, speaking at offline events. Uh, I think spoke at more than 25 events in last 1 year. I think, uh, yeah, it's like I just wanted to find my voice, and I found my voice thanks to my transition at Ola. People recognize, oh, there is a PM in a big enough company. So yeah.
And how has been this journey so far? Like, did you get any collaboration opportunities? You said you were able to like speak. You were invited to speak at a few events. Like, उसके अलावा और कुछ हुआ? कुछ paid partnership
Yeah,
types?
I get a good number of calls for paid partnerships, but I think I believe in don't sell yourself too early. Think. So I do not
Hmm.
partner with the random people for their random post. So I'm very selective with that. I feel if it's helping my audience, I take a very conscious call, and I put more effort than
Hmm.
so anywhere I work with the collaborators. They said you're the best creator we are working with, because I put really a lot of work on the content and everything. I give them ideas
Hmm.
even if they want me to post any random content which they have figured themselves out. I said no, I'm not
Hmm.
going to post this. I'm going to repurpose this content or you repurpose this content, and basically I never posted any content which is just given by to a from a brand to me directly. I repurpose it according to myself for my audience, and then I post
Hmm.
it. And if I do not uh,
Hmm.
achieve the desired result or the impressions or what they wanted, I do not even charge them. I feel if I failed, okay, I'm not going to charge you anything. If I'm succeeding, then I'm going to charge you a bomb. So that's how it is.
Okay. So one final thing. What is your advice to a budding content creator like me?
I think some people uh, have more time, some people have less time. From the energy perspective, it's all the energy. It's never the number of hours, it's the
Hmm.
energy. So you can work a lot even after office, but suppose you don't like it. And I don't know if you like it or not, but if you like it, you can do it. If you don't like it, don't do it. So finding the frequency for which you are comfortable with and being consistent with that
Hmm.
frequency uh, is really, really important for generating the content. Along with that,
Hmm.
finding who is the user of your content and adding value constantly to them will uh, help them to come back to your channel again and again and again and again. So, value to your end users and finding a comfort in your creation, the balance over there will help you to have a better mileage than most of the content creators, which is very important. As a
Hmm.
podcaster, I stopped doing a podcast after a while because I was not able to follow the frequency. I was aware, I
Hmm.
found my audience, I was adding value to them. I was just not able to keep up with the frequency. So
Okay.
focus on the frequency and consistency part along with the value delivering,
Hmm.
and you're there.
Thank you so much, Himanshu. Thanks for being in the podcast today. And I got to learn a few things. And Even your advice on content creation actually seems very logical, coming from an experienced creator. So yes, I would definitely love to implement that here as well. Uh, the last thing I want you to do is do the CTA for this podcast, please.
Guys, follow this witty peanuts. So obviously, he like a big fan of Mohit. He is super fun, super cool designer. Uh, Podcast is great, right? Do follow, share, subscribe. But more than that, if you need any help and if you're looking for a design mentor, do reach out to this person. For him, podcast is not a way to just put out the content. He wanted to make good friends, good network, so that he will be able to help you back and he will get help from you. So probably if you are a VC or if you are a super big podcaster who can help him to even grow, he is looking for you. And if you want some design help, again, you probably looking for him and he is there for you. So take this lena dene wala kaam karte raho and grow together. That's all.
Alrighty. Thank you so much, Himanshu. Thanks for the podcast. Thanks for making up time for me. Thanks for the CTA as well. And yeah, I hope to see you again in more podcasts, bro. So करते रहेंगे इसको आगे भी on different topics, different themes. I think we can talk a lot about a lot of things because we are hashtag storytellers. And for you all, if you are till here, आपने इतना सारा देखा, thank you so much for that as well. And see you in the next one. Bye.